What ancient methods did cultures use to store beer? Imagine a time long before refrigerators or modern coolers, when people still found clever ways to keep their beer fresh and drinkable. Ancient cultures didn't have the luxury of electric refrigeration, but they used natural materials and smart techniques to preserve their brews. Let's explore how they did it. In ancient Egypt and Mesopotamia, the most common storage containers were ceramic vessels. These were made from clay and often left unglazed, which made them porous. The pores helped keep the beer cool by allowing some heat to escape naturally. These vessels were usually small enough to hold a few gallons and were perfect for fermentation and storage. They also helped wild yeast grow, which was essential for brewing. Clay jars and amphorae were also popular for storing beer. These containers could be sealed tightly with clay or wax to prevent air from spoiling the brew. Sealing was important because it kept out bacteria and other contaminants. Amphorae, which were large, narrow-necked jars, could be transported over long distances, making beer trade possible. These jars often had a pointed bottom so they could be stored in racks or buried in the ground for insulation. Wooden barrels were used in some regions, especially where wood was plentiful. These barrels provided better insulation than clay and were less likely to break. They also added a slight flavor to the beer from the wood itself. However, because wood was more expensive and harder to produce, it was less common in ancient times compared to clay containers. Ancient brewers also used natural cooling methods. They often placed their storage vessels in shaded areas, such as underground cellars or caves, where temperatures stayed cooler naturally. Sometimes, they covered the vessels with mud, straw, or wet cloths to help keep the temperature steady. This helped slow down spoilage and kept the beer tasting fresh longer. While the methods varied depending on the culture and available resources, the goal was always the same: keep the beer cool, sealed, and protected from spoilage. These ancient techniques show how resourceful people were in preserving their brews long before modern refrigeration. Today, understanding these old methods can inspire brewers to experiment with traditional storage techniques, blending history with modern practices to keep beer fresh and flavorful.